James McGrath.
Andy Gaunt, back for more.
We're back for more. Look at us. We're doing okay. I think we're doing okay.
I think we are. And actually, technically, this is the second pod we're recording this month. Or this one will go out next month. I'm impressed with it. We recorded the last one just a couple of weeks ago, and here we are.
Unbelievable. Now, hold up. Hold the phone. What are we seeing? A polo, Ralph Lauren polo shirt? He's got a polo shirt on. This is I've never seen anything like this. Usually James, as we all know, wears his uniform black Carhartt t-shirt. But no, we're seeing a polo shirt over a t-shirt. Classic classic American corporate weekend vibes.
Exactly. So what was I doing over the last few hours? I was on a video conference, and hell if I'm going to wear a shirt and tie when I'm working from home. But I did put on this very nice Ralph Lauren polo shirt, which I hate wearing. But then I hate everything unless it's a Carhartt t-shirt and a pair of shorts. So, c'est la vie.
I bet you're glad I brought it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Even as much as maybe bringing up the fact that I'm wearing glasses. And I never usually wear glasses. And it's
look at us.
The end of the week and I can't see shit.
Oh, welcome to Fashion and Glasses Watch, everybody, on Curb and Canyon.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, look, we're back because there's a little bit of, as ever, there's rumors swirling around what's going on at Porsche, and we're seeing news articles about job losses and, in the same breath, future strategy and all that good stuff. So we've got that to talk about. I'm sure we've got other stuff to talk about, but there's definitely a little bit of urgency around there.
Yeah, it's let's call it didn't I message the other day and say, let's do an emergency pod when all of this stuff started dropping and all of these rumors. But you know what? There's other things to talk about, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about who cancelled last. I think it was you again. We need to talk about what we've been doing, who's keeping cars, who's selling cars. There's actually a lot to get through. And we've got a video of the week, which you probably haven't seen, but it's good.
I have seen at least 5 seconds of it. No, I have seen video of the week. But look, two things. One, we haven't actually...
It's a YouTuber.
Yeah, all right. But look, one, we haven't had any cancellations since the last pod a couple of weeks ago. The fact that you suggested that we record and I say, I can't record on that day, doesn't mean I'm cancelling. It just means I wasn't able to do it. There's a difference.
Do you know what? I'll let you have that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is true.
And the second one, considering we are recording just a few weeks after the last one, I haven't even thought about video of the week. I was going to give you a suggestion this month, remember?
Yeah, you were. Where was it?
Yeah, no. Well, I haven't even gotten around to that yet. But, I did look at video of the week, and I'm actually quite excited about this one.
Yeah, lovely. So, all right, let's talk about selling. It looks like you've been out and about in the car. It looks like things are happening. You're enjoying the summer. You're driving. Mm-hmm. I assume selling is just you're nowhere near it. Yeah,
no. I mean, last month, as we talked about, there was a little bit of a wobble there for a few hours. Friday, end of the week, all that, kind of stuff. Questioning my life decisions, amongst other stuff. It's like Friday afternoon doom scrolling or Friday, whatever. So, but no, I'm solid on Bluey Tui. We've gone for a few drives with Porsches and Pancakes. We did a really fun one last weekend. And then actually tomorrow we're doing, just think of it as like a really mini Alpine Ridge Rally. We're going away for 2 days and 1 night. And as far as the Midwest goes, it's pretty sensational driving. Basically, the Mississippi cuts this beautiful path through the bluffs between Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then down further south to Iowa. And all the way along the river, you got these beautiful views. You got little coffee shops in little tiny villages. You can basically follow the river for a little bit, which expands to basically like a mile wide at one point. And then you can cut off into the bluffs. And there are actually twisty roads, no turnies, but definitely twisties. We've got like 4 or 5 hours worth of driving with a few stops on Saturday. And then the Drift region is just south of La Crosse, Wisconsin. And that's a lot of very twisty kind of farmland sort of roads. And again, a little hilly through the bluffs and down to the other side of the river and then back. So that's like 2 days worth of driving. And I'm even bringing Ruthie. She's coming along.
Oh, so much to unpack there. I mean, let's start with Alpine Range Rally, not Alpine Ridge Rally.
Whatever. Bath, puke, whatever.
If I didn't call that out, I'd have people messaging me on WhatsApp saying, he called it Alpine Ridge Rally. They'd be very cross. Oh, hang on. Hold on. Drink check. What are you drinking? Are we back to some sort of Starbucks big gulp situation? What is that?
It's a giant Starbucks.
Minnesota Red.
Yeah, it's a giant Starbucks cup. But actually, Andy, it's water with a splash of cranberry juice.
See, this is what you should be having. Melbourne latte.
That's a really nice coffee. But look, last time I was drinking a beer, I actually really fancied drinking a beer this time as well. But my father-in-law visited this past weekend, and I think he cleaned me out because I went to the fridge and there's like no beer whatsoever.
Yeah, I keep finding my 18-year-old son does that. So this sounds like a great drive. And I think I said to you after our last pod and the idea of selling, you need to have a trip planned. Because once you've got a trip locked in the calendar and you have a night or two away and you're going to drive some great roads in the car, I think that just creates a sense of anticipation and excitement again for the car versus when it's just sitting there not doing anything. And how exciting to take Ruthie along. Has she been on the twisties with you previously? Is this something she's going to be comfortable with?
Yeah, she's been on a couple of drives with me. In fact, even just in the last few months, she came on one of our Sunday morning drives. And when we were driving down the river roads, she was quite comfortably just, fixated on Instagram, which is what she spends most of her life doing. But once we got onto the twisties, she suddenly realized she needed to start paying attention. So she was grabbing hold of the door handle and putting her hand on the center console and kept on saying, "Please don't die. Please, I don't want to die today." Just a little bit of drama. She's a dramatic person. But yeah, she'll be fine. She's going to really, really enjoy it. All I had to do to sell her this trip was no childcare for 2 days and multiple stops at different coffee shops she was in.
Yeah, that wins.
Game on.
Does she know you're on winter tires and you're just going to spear off the road at any moment?
She doesn't know I'm on winter tires. And actually, you know what? It's funny you should say that. This afternoon, I was thinking I really should change over those tires. I've really got to get my summers on. And one thing led to another, and here it is, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I haven't yet done that the night before. So maybe I should do that before. Maybe. Who cares though? I just don't care. I don't care.
So wait, when's this trip? Sorry?
Tomorrow morning. We're leaving at 8 in the morning.
Is this weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Fantastic. And you're leaving the kids just to fend for themselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no supervision.
Nope, just
they're ready.
Big bag of candy.
Yeah, they'll be fine. What could
endless
go
YouTube.
wrong?
I know, right?
This is great. And so, the reason I pointed out the winter tires was that I watched your latest video this morning, the oil change.
Oh, you did?
Your car.
Very nice.
And Chris's GT3. And yes, I was horrified in that moment to see that you were still running winter tires, even though it was summer.
I love that you noticed that. I would never have noticed that. I just wouldn't have looked.
Yeah, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to tires. I must confess.
Okay.
So yes, I did notice. The other thing I noticed was here you are doing an oil change for your mate Chris. Have we had a drive yet? Because we have a standing thing at the top of the show notes called cancellation watch.
Yeah.
I think I need to change that to GT3 key throw watch. Come on, Chris.
Scrooge watch.
Come on, mate.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Within hours of the last pod dropping, I was getting texts from Chris being like, "Hey, should we make a video tomorrow? We can make a video tomorrow. Do you want to make a video this weekend? Just let me know. Let me know." We haven't actually gone out and done that yet, but I think he was sufficiently guilted into offering up a ride in his GT3. But I'm still not convinced I would have been the one driving in the video. I'd probably still be the mug on the side of the road with the camera as he drove past me.
No, I reckon poor Chris is feeling the effects of character assassination on our podcast and thinking those bastards have thrown me under the bus.
But you did notice the fun part of the video where
I did.
Poor Chris. My goodness! We filmed that about 8 weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago.
Hold on. What? So what happened for our listeners? What happened to Chris?
Chris basically got absolutely covered in oil. He was under his car taking out the first drain plug, and this drain plug is at a 45-degree angle, basically. Now, we had the catch pan, and it's a really big elevated catch pan underneath the car, but essentially the oil went directly into the side of the catch pan and just did like a skid. It just ramped, used the side of the catch pan as a ramp. And it went straight in his face. This is red hot engine oil, by the way. Like, that GT3 had only arrived like an hour before we started shooting. So it kind of went on his chin, a bit went on his baseball hat. He was wearing this beautiful, really nice, authentic Porsche turbo crested hoodie. Completely
seems appropriate for working under the car.
Yeah, I know, right? The oil went down him, and then it went on the inside of the wheel well, and it went on the control arms. It kind of went everywhere. But the thing was, this was the beginning of the oil change, and I've just been trying to figure out how to edit this out. And there was, I really didn't want to throw him under the bus either, because it would have happened to me. If I'd have just cranked that drain plug, it would have happened to me. It wasn't his fault at all.
All right, hold on.
But I was trying to figure out how to actually...
Hold on. You were trying to edit it out. That is not evidenced by what happens in the video, because instead of editing it out, you replay it like 6 times.
I know, but you see, that's just my personality. Like, if I go for something, I really, really go for something. So on the one hand, I was going to edit it out and pretend like it never existed. But then I decided I had to keep it in, so why not just make it really fun? And so you see it explode, and then it rewinds, and then it explodes, and then back and forth and back and forth. Honestly,
so funny.
It still gives me a lot of joy. Yeah, maybe I should pull it out and just stick it on a reel.
That's great.
Poor Chris.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I have to say, I'm very excited to hear that you're doing a trip this weekend. How cool. Very jealous, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got about 10 cars, so a nice, manageable number.
That's good. That's a good number.
2 or 3 couples in the group. And we're doing some of the roads we know, and some roads we've never driven before. And I've actually been frantically looking at the satellite imagery of all of these routes, making sure that they're paved.
Yeah. Always good. What do you use for navigation in the car?
I usually use Apple Maps. Sorry. Yeah. I usually use Apple Maps, and I plot a bunch of different waypoints and so on. I know you're taking off your glasses and looking at me. It works okay. It's not great. However, for the event page and for all of the people coming, I actually create... have you ever used My Maps in Google Maps, where you can create different layers? So each segment of our drive, like if we split it up into Saturday morning and afternoon, Sunday morning and afternoon, I've got 4 layers on a Google map, and each layer has 6 or 7 different waypoints, and you can toggle which layer you want to see, so you only see that part of the drive. And then you can use that to navigate. And that's actually really cool, because it never forgets, unlike Google Maps, just regular versions sometimes. You share a link and it loses all the waypoints. This is absolutely rock solid.
And it won't see that the way you're going is going to take longer, so therefore reroute you to try and get you there quicker. Right.
No. It's pretty rock solid.
Okay, I'll take a look at that, because we use Scenic, which is a motorcycle navigation app, which I've found to be, once you have it set up and you know how to use it, I've found it reasonably faultless. over the journey, and unlike Google Maps, never changes waypoints, never sends you in a different direction.
Yeah.
So I'll have a look at that because Google it the only thing that can be a little bit ropey with Scenic is you create the maps. You can do it in Scenic in the app, but you can also do it in Google Maps on your desktop, and then you basically cut and paste the link.
Yeah.
And sometimes I find with Scenic, it'll only give me half of the route that I've planned on Google, so I don't know where the rest of it goes. But it's been a little bit flaky in that regard. So
the only limitation on this is that it doesn't give you turn-by-turn instructions like Google Maps, unfortunately. So you kind of, which I know exactly.
But how many of those do you need?
Well, maybe not very many. So it's fine. But for people that absolutely refuse to navigate unless Google's spoon feeding them every single turn, it's a limitation of the app. But if you're relatively comfortable with where you're going, the fact that it never changes the routes is actually really powerful. Yeah.
All right, look, I think you're a group of 10. That's a good tight number. You should be able to largely stay together, or at least, even if you get broken up a little bit, you shouldn't have people out on their own trying to figure out where the hell they're going to go. And as people often say to me when I'm organising these rallies, you're a bunch of adults. Yeah. People can figure out how to get there and work out their own navigation if they need to.
Actually, so at the risk of throwing one of my mates under the bus, and I'm just going to do it. His name is Ben, and he's a really nice guy. He can get a little grumpy sometimes, but he's a really, really nice guy, and he's been with the group for a long time. We don't get to see him that often, though. This last weekend, we were doing a run. We were doing a drive, and I mean, this isn't necessarily directly related to the story, but he started at the wrong place. Like, he didn't look at the address and just assumed it was one restaurant when it was actually a different restaurant. Right. So he was like 10 minutes late to get there because he was like, "Where are you guys? I'm right outside the restaurant." Obviously, he was in the wrong place. We get on this drive. We've got like a 1 or 2 stops planned. Within about, I don't know, maybe, I'll be generous, within about 20 minutes of departing, we do a left turn to go onto this beautiful scenic road with loads of turns in Carver County. And he just does a right. And he not only does a right, he does a right like he's an F1 driver. And he just is speeding out of there. And I'm not sure if maybe he's taken my banter the wrong way about him getting the starting point, or maybe he's just had enough and he's like, fuck these guys, they're driving slow. But whatever, he just went in the exact opposite direction and he was driving like his ass was on fire. So we thought, all right, well, we saw Ben. Maybe we won't see him for another 6 months. He's obviously going to do something else with his day. We get to our way station and we're hanging around for 10, 15 minutes and he doesn't catch up and, whatever. So we all decide to just keep going. And about half an hour later, I'm getting text message from him. He's like pissed. Like, "Where are you guys? Why aren't you at the coffee shop?" Like, "Well, you left us." Maybe I really shouldn't say this, but let's just say he's middle-aged, maybe like you and I, maybe a little older. He had to go for a piss, and he didn't want to stop on the side of the road. And so we thought, I'm going to take a right here because I know there's a little town and probably a gas station just this way, and I'll catch up. So we broke off after 15 minutes, couldn't hold it for more than 15 minutes, had to go to the bog, never caught us up. Anyway, there you go. That was fun and games last week.
Come on, Ben. That one's on you, dude. That one's on you.
But yeah, you're right. We're all adults, right? It's like
yeah.
You if you can't hold it for the bathroom and you decide to go a different way, and don't tell us what you're doing, no kind of communication whatsoever.
Yeah.
We're just going to assume you've bailed, and we're just going to continue on with our drive.
Do you use radios? Do you have walkie-talkies?
On and off, yeah. I mean, for this weekend we will, but most weekends when we're just doing a quick, hour and a half kind of drive, we don't bother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we always do. It's just helpful because even in that situation, someone might say, "You know what? I'm just going to stop for a quick waz, and I'll catch up. Don't worry."
A quick waz. I haven't heard that expression in ages. I didn't realize Aussie said that. I used to say that in England all the time. I'm going to go for a quick
Don't you think it's funny how sometimes, this driving thing, you're going out, it's the thing we love to do most with our cars, and yet we can get grumpy.
Yeah.
Like I've sometimes we've been on rallies and, like I say, we always have radios and they'll, particularly when we used to use Google Maps, there'd be a Google map and it would say we needed to turn right when we didn't. It was trying to reroute us. And I'd be on the radio and I'd say, hey guys, no, don't turn right. Repeat, don't turn right, just keep going straight on. And then, 30 seconds later, someone would jump on the radio, hey, it's saying I need to turn right. Should I turn right? And I'm like, as I mentioned, just previously, no need to turn right. And then someone else would come on, it's saying on the radio we should turn right. And I'm like, and there's a part of me just seething going, for fuck's sake, you're a bunch of men. We've driven this road 20 times. How do you not know that we don't have to turn right?
I know.
Just quietly seething in my car.
Yeah. At the same time, though, on the other side of that coin, we have some folks that join who have never been on a drive with us before. And they, I think it's hard, when you come along to an event and there's a good bunch of people who know each other and then you're the one or two that are there for the first time. Well, there was one time a really nice guy came along for a drive, didn't have a radio on him and the rest of us did. And he was so polite, he was just like super quiet or maybe shy. Anyway, long story short, after this 2-hour drive, instead of stopping and like giving everyone a high five and a handshake, we just got to where we usually break off and all go in our own different directions. And I split off, and from the finish point to my house is like a good hour and a half's drive. Well, he followed me. He followed me the whole way, and I didn't have his number. And I saw him in the background a little bit, and I thought, is he with me, or maybe he just lives over in the West Metro, like I do, like maybe I don't know. And then at one point, I just forgot about him. Because after so long, I just thought, well, surely he's not following me now. Anyway, hour and a half later, I rock up to my house, and he just pulls up at my house and gets out of his car. I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry, you didn't figure it out. Yeah, no, the drive ended about 50 miles ago and an hour and a half ago. And he was like, I wasn't sure. It was like, and like in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, there were 20 of us. And then all of a sudden, I went this way and you decided to follow me. Did the dots not connect for you? Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, brilliant. So you asked me about selling, and then we got on to talking about, my drives. What are you doing, Mr. I'm dabbling with selling my car, Gaunt? I'm selling. Like for real? Yep. Like, as my daughter would say, for real life. IRL. I'm selling. The car we are prepping it at the moment. It's a couple little things that need tidying up before it officially goes on the market. Mind you, I did tease this both on the pod and then also on social media last weekend. And, I've had some people reach out already. Wait. I've had quite a few people reach out. By teasing, do you mean that post that said, coming to market soon? That's not a tease. Yes. That's an announcement in my world. Yeah, well, sure. Take it either way. It's do you know what? I genuinely decided it's time. And it's interesting. I had a great drive last weekend. I drove Sunday morning. It was actually pouring rain. It was a bit awful. Met a couple of local guys who I know through a 964 WhatsApp group, and we went for a drive. And unfortunately, the weather was not on our side. So halfway into the drive, I decided to peel off. The one thing I find about driving in the rain is I've done it so many times and on so many rallies and stuff like that if it's a Sunday morning and it's bucketing rain, I don't need to be out in it. I'm just as happy to go get a coffee or go home. But as I peeled off and then drove back in the other direction, it actually got quite dry, and I was driving these roads quite close to my house, which I just love, and I love them in the 964. They're not good quality roads, but they're just
they just kind of carve through the countryside, through farmland, and you're hitting all sorts of bumps and undulations. And the 964 is just gorgeous down those roads. It just flows like water. I love it. And I was thinking, in fact, I was chatting to my mate Steve on the phone. He was out for a drive as well. And I said to him, it's interesting. I'm driving this road. It is my favourite road to drive in this car, and I'm absolutely loving it. Yet I'm still convinced it's time to sell. So, yeah, I've very much reached that conclusion. I've made that decision, and the reasons for selling, we've spoken about it before, but ultimately it's just to have a different experience. And I genuinely believe it is time for me to relinquish this car to somebody else. I've had the most incredible ownership journey with it. I still adore it, and not just in the sense that, it's part of the family now. It feels like something I'm very connected to. I just adore the act of driving it, right? Driving it in the twisties, the fizz you get from that, the way I've, over the years just curated this build to be what I think is the ultimate driver's spec 964, and certainly not the purest 964, but an incredible driving 964.
Don't say it. Don't say the O word.
Oh, golly.
Outlaw. Thought you were going to say outlaw.
Oh, jeez, come on. As if. Bloody outlaw. Absolutely
I
not.
knew you weren't going to say that. But no, I know what you mean, though. That it's not the purest 964. It is. It's a highly drivable sports car. It's for the driving enthusiast.
It is. But equally, I was saying to one of my mates this week that the other thing I love about the car, and in a way the thing I'll miss more, is the just jumping in it to drive into town or to drive around, go to the shops, go to the bottle shop, or, drive into the city and get a coffee. It is a car that does those. It has that duality about it. When I did the last trip I did to Tasmania in that car, we spent 3 days driving Targa Tasmania stage roads in a very spirited fashion. And then I spent 5 days, Kath flew down, met me, and I spent 5 days touring around that state, going to wineries, going to Airbnbs in this amazing little old sports car. So it does everything so well, and it's an incredible car. So I love it both for the connection I have with it, but also what it still brings. But it's just time to have a different experience and to move it on to somebody else.
So a couple of things. And first off, for those that don't live in Kangaroo Land, what's a bottle shop? Is that like an offie? An off license?
I don't know what it. Well, it's a what do you guys call them over there? It's like where you go to buy wine or beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, an off license. Well, that's what we'd say in England.
No, what do you call them there? A liquor store.
A liquor store, yeah.
But a liquor store sounds like this tiny little kind of mom and pop operation, right? Like our bottle shop here, there's a chain called Dan Murphy's, and it's like a big supermarket for beer, wine, spirits.
Yeah.
So it's funny, I have this little loop that I'll often do on a Saturday afternoon that goes to the Dan Murphy's near me is maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 kilometers away, but I have this loop that I do that goes around on the freeway for a minute and gets me onto an on-ramp, so I can just do a little on-ramp.
Nice.
Pull. and it's just great. So yeah, that's what a bottle shop is.
There's nothing like speeding in your 911 with a load of wine in the backseat. ready for the copper to ask you. No,
I do. I definitely do that before the bottle shop.
Nice. But yeah, no. I can't lie. I'm sad. I'm sad to think of Little Green being no more.
Same.
But interesting, you said like you're doing a few things. Like, are you preparing it for market, as in you're trying to make it as nice as possible? Like, clean and tidy probably goes without saying. For me, it's whenever I've decided to sell one of my cars, I can't get rid of it fast enough. Like the whole idea of having to prep it and do something to it and work on it to get rid of it. It's like, it's done. Like, I'll sell it as fast as quickly and humanly as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to start getting angry and resenting it or something like that. That's probably speaks to a massive character flaw of mine. But if you ever want a deal, get me in that mood.
James is your guy. No, I hear that, and look, I think that's probably indicative of the age of Little Green versus the age of a lot of the cars you've owned and sold, right?
Yeah, and the fact that yours is something special. It's not just any old base Carrera from the last 10, 15 years. It is something very special.
Look, I think so, and so, for example, in terms of prep, one of the things I'm doing is for the last 3 years, I've been running a set of 964 turbo seats in the car that are the wrong colour, but they've been great seats. So my original seats that were in there, the driver's seat had a little tear on the side bolster, so I'm having those two original seats reupholstered as we speak, and so they'll then go into the car. I'm also going to have Stu and the team at 9 Auto go over the car and just make sure there's nothing pending that really needs doing, so that the next owner can pick up the car and be confident that they're buying a car that they can just jump in and drive, the same as I've been able to. So it's just doing those things, and you know what these processes are like. It's everything takes time. It's like, okay, that the trimmer is going to take 2 to 3 weeks. He's already had a week and a half, which is good. The car goes into Stu's on Monday, so they might have it for a little while, just doing any bits and pieces that need to be done. Again, just so that the next owner can buy it with confidence.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think if it was me, if I made a decision on Monday I wanted to sell it, if it was still in my garage on Friday, I'd either set it on fire or drive it into a wall and make it an insurance job. It's just like, take this thing away from me. I am done with it. Absolutely done with it.
Well, I tell you what I did do is during the week I put the Cup 1 rims back on it. I took the BBS off, put the Cup 1s back on, and I had done that actually over the summer, and man, they look good. It looks so good on those rims. Yeah, and it's funny because they are one of my all-time favourite Porsche wheels, right? I just think they're so lovely. And when I bought the car, Fraz, the previous owner, had replaced the indicators and the side repeater lights, which are amber. He'd replaced them with clear, a clear version, which everyone was doing on their 964s a few years back. But I had all of the amber lights, and I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I put the ambers back in, and they just look a bit more stock. They look great. And so then when I put the Cup 1s on, I'd never seen the Cups with the ambers, and it just has this OEM plus look about it that it just looks right. It looks so right. So I can't wait to photograph it to sell, because it just, it looks spectacular.
Nice. Well,
and then I won't want to sell.
Little Green, I'm sad, but I'm glad you sort of like, you come to your own, you've got closure, I think, and you're going to move on to something which is absolutely fantastic and even more exciting, or just different, like you said, a different experience.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what? Just on that, just real quick. So one of the cars I'm thinking about, I may as well blow this up, is, we mentioned this in the last pod, is the 718 Spider. And yes. I was lucky enough to get a drive in one 2 weekends ago. I had one for an hour. A local dealer threw me the keys, which was very, very kind. I got to drive it roof up, roof down, on freeways, in some traffic, on a small set of twisties. I must say that on the twisties with the roof down, I swung by home and grabbed Ryder. I'm like, hey, dude, look what's out the front. He comes and jumps in the car. We went for a quick spin on these twisties close to my house. We were both killing ourselves laughing at how much fun this car was. Just so much fun. My one concern with that car is regarding the roof, and not in the way that you might expect. I'm not concerned about the roof mechanism and the fact that it's manual. And I know, and interestingly, a lot of people I've spoken with confuse the roof mechanism with that of the RS. It's not like the RS. You're not pitching a tent on the top of your car. It's just a manual process that can be done in like 30 seconds. First time I did it like 40 seconds maybe. It's a piece of cake.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that. But the roof is a lightweight roof. So as compared with, say, a 911 cab or even a regular Boxster, which has an insulated roof, the roof on the Spider is not insulated. And so when you are driving with the roof up, it is a bit more noisy. It's just, you just get more ambient noise into the cabin. Now, I got to experience that. I deliberately put the roof up for my return trip to the dealer so that I could see how it felt, including driving on the freeway at 100 kilometers an hour, and actually found it to be pretty tolerable. Like, actually not that bad at all. Quite comfortable. But thinking about using this car on rallies and road trips, there are going to be times where if weather's changeable, I would definitely just drive with the roof up. I'd love to know, from listeners, if anyone's driven or owns a Spider and has done road trips in it and just how they find it over the course of a couple of days with that roof. Does it become tiresome?
Yeah. I'd love to hear that too. And really, my only friend who has a Spider is that guy Henry I was telling you about in the last pod, who has two of them. And I don't know whether this is just coincidence or what have you, but if it's a nice day, Henry will be there and he'll have the roof off. If there's any kind of weather forecast whatsoever, he doesn't come on the drives. And my suspicion is that he doesn't like driving with the roof on. And so if there's any question whatsoever and he can't 100% guarantee that he's going to have the roof off, he just sacks it off. He can't be asked.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, look, as I say, I would have no problem driving with the roof on, and I actually found it fine. I turned on the stereo. It sounded great. So I thought, actually, I think I could live with this. But that said, I didn't drive it on, because I was driving on a freeway and local highways. They're decent quality pavement, decent quality asphalt versus, out in the regional areas where you're driving with, I don't know what you call it there, but here we call it coarse chip asphalt, which is, a lot noisier and stuff like that. I just have read some reviews that call that out as a bit of an issue. So that's something that's weighing on my mind. And, other things, there's other alternative options, right? I don't think it'll be a 911, interestingly. It's our friend Lee, as much as I hesitate to do yet another plug for Nine Works, Lee just did this great
Don't do it. I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say? What am I going to say?
His latest video where he's saying he hasn't been blown away by a Porsche in a long time, and it wasn't a 911. Yeah.
And he said something about it. It's like, this car, so he was driving the Cayman GTS 4-litre, having also driven the GT4 and the Cayman R. And, I mean, he was raving about the 4-litre, which doesn't surprise me at all. But, he more or less, I'm paraphrasing here, but said that he feels these cars continue the lineage of the Porsche soul in a way that a modern 911 does not. And I tend to agree with that, unless you're talking GT product. Because I want a car that is nimble, agile, fast, not stupid fast, that doesn't matter, NA if possible, and it's got to be raucous, it's got to have a soundtrack, it's got to feel like it's a sports car, and out of the box, I think 718s and 981s in various guises just do that a little better than their 911 counterparts of the same era.
Yeah, well, that 718 he was driving was the 4-litre GTS, right? Which I think of the 718 range is very different to the base from yeah. So actually that leads on to we won't go there just yet because I've got a question for you first. But when we start talking about kind of Porsche news, if you've looked at any of the statistics, it's actually kind of interesting to see what's selling and what's not, and what
isn't it?
It is quite cool. But so. For me, like when I bought when I sold my first 911 and got my 991 and got my second gen 991, it was all because my mate Chris sold his car and he went from the turbo to the GT3 Touring. And I was perfectly happy with that grey 991.1, but as soon as he sold, within days, I'd bought mine. So I'm wondering, like, whether, you know, any of your friends have triggered your desire to sell Little Green, or maybe if you're selling Little Green is now going to spark a ripple effect in the Alpine Range Rally community. Dude, how did I not see that earlier? I said Alpine Ridge Rally. You're actually wearing a shirt that fucking says Alpine Range Rally on the front of it. It's a nice looking shirt. All right, so we're going to do Australian car owner bingo real quick. I'm going to call out a name and you're going to say what he drives and if he's going to stick or sell.
All right. Great. This is one without notice.
Here we go. Let's do it. Fraz.
968. Sell, and my God, Fraz selling a car is pure cinema. Pure cinema.
All right, well, we'll come back to that. So Fraz, 964, sell. Daz.
No, 968.
Okay, sorry. Yep. Daz.
944, not selling.
Philby.
2 cars. Philby has his Brighton Outlaw. He won't sell that. And a 993, which I think he's really bonded with. So, no, I don't think Philby's selling.
So he's sticking. Kale.
I think he's air-cooled all the way. Oh, Kale's not selling. He's got he'll kill me, a 72 911E, I think, the Tangerine one. My favourite car in our group. Oh. He has a 993 C2 with RS gearbox that ever since I last drove it has been living rent-free in my head. And he has a 718 Cayman GT4 manual, and he also has this kind of hot-rodded G-body, so Kale doesn't need to sell. He has covered every single base.
Kale's got all of those cars?
He does.
Kale, I hate you. I don't really. I do.
We all
fucking
do.
Hell. Gerard.
Ooh. Gerard Carrera T, which he's rebuilding his 964, so at some point, because he's like my original kind of 964 guy, right? We were like 964 bros. Yeah. But that car is off the road and has been now for 2 years, and that has impacted me. But he has a Carrera T. I don't think that car's going anywhere. He's enjoying it.
Rocco.
Cayman GTS 4-litre, best choice he ever made. I love that car. Carmine red. Just, yeah. No, that's sticking.
Choco.
Not sure what Choco drives.
I'm out of names, and if you're a part of Andy's crew and I've forgotten your name, I sincerely apologize. But that's interesting. So it's, as far as you know, all of those are currently sticking. Let's circle back in a month's time, and see if any of them are starting to get the itch. So
to go back to your original thesis, there is something in that, because I do recall that when we first started doing our rallies, our trips, when this group first started forming, there are a lot of air-cooled cars. There are a lot of 996s. You know, just we'd all kind of tripped our way into whatever we could afford at the time. And as time's gone on, there's definitely some bigger hitters and a lot more modern stuff in the group. And I must say that there are times where I feel like myself and maybe Simon, who drives an amazing hotted up 911 SC and is very quick. Sometimes it's just him and I, like air cooled buddies, and everyone else is in their water cooled stuff, and maybe Phil's kind of bringing up the back in an air cooled as well. But it's definitely moved more into the modern space.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, when I look back, over the last 9 or 10 years of knowing the car community here in the Twin Cities, our group, originally, it was pretty much all 997s, 911 997s plus the odd Boxster here and there. Now we've got like a real kind of balance between old and new 911 and Boxster Caymans. And actually, in the group, in addition to Henry's Spiders, my friend Paul has got a racing, I think it's racing yellow, not speed yellow, a racing yellow 981 GT4. We just did the Soul Performance exhaust on it. It's absolutely beautiful. And one I never think, and he actually just lives about half a mile away and is always offering his car up for videos. And I feel terrible because I never reach out and do it. My friend John has got a 981 GT4 in that beautiful. What's the name of that? It's not gentian blue, but it's kind of
it's sapphire blue. Sapphire blue.
Oh God, dude!
Yeah,
every
what a
time
colour.
I see that car and the sound, it's absolutely beautiful. That might be the best looking car in our group, actually.
You should drive one of those. I think you would be shocked at how much fun they are. They're so good. And, interestingly, shout out to friend of the show, Will from Renthusiast. I saw Will just sold his 993. Now, he has just bought himself a 991.2 GT3 manual, not a touring, but manual in crayon or chalk, as you guys have over there. And he was on his video, he was being asked the question about, will you, why are you kind of moving away from the air-cooled stuff? And he said it's just kind of headspace. It's just what's interesting to him at the moment and what he wants to spend his time in and the sort of experiences he wants to have. And I could very much relate to that. It's not an eschewing of air cooled and saying I'm not interested in that anymore. I am massively, and I expect that's probably where I'll end up again at some point. But right now it's time for a different experience.
Yeah, fair dues. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more next month. See how you go, how you get on. So, I don't know. Let's look at our beautiful show notes that you created for us this week. And you've gone on the Curb Canyon header paper. I'm very, very impressed.
Let's spend a little bit of time on this. I don't want to go too deep on things being shit at Porsche, to be honest. Like, it sort of gets...
Well, you see,
it gets a bit repetitive and negative.
I think it might be, but actually, I think this might be where we turn a corner. Okay, because I think for the first time in months, I think we've gotten some pretty definitive answers from Porsche. And if you kind of piece together what you're seeing in like that Road and Track article that you sent out, and you actually look at some of the press releases that Porsche have put out, as doom and gloom as 5,000 jobs that are going to be lost.
Porsche has announced it will cut an additional 5,000 jobs by 2035 following an agreement between management and labour representatives that has been months in the making.
Yeah.
That says according to Road and Track.
So while that does sound pretty disastrous, if you believe what they're also saying, which is the vast majority of those is planned attrition, retirements, voluntary redundancy, there are people that are potentially either relatively happy to be let go or out of the door anyway. Okay, it's still a little bit doom and gloom. But when you think about, we go back to last year and the press release about how they've, shrunk from billions worth of dollars of profit to 400 million or something like that. And I think their operating margin went from 15% down to 1%. I mean, that's all terrible, terrible news. When you put it in the context of some of the numbers for the first half of 2026, it's actually quite interesting. So they've sold more 911s this year than they did the year before and the year before that. So demand for 911s is going through the roof. I think it's 20% or something.
Yeah.
From last year.
It was 17.5% last year. It's now 25%.
And that's huge. And they can't fulfill the 911 requests or demands, that sort of supply and demand scenario. They can't keep up with 911 demand. So by admitting or agreeing, okay, we're going to backpedal on the EV plan, or at least I think what they're saying is the EV plan was solid. They just got there too quickly. They just thought that the EV market was going to grow much faster than it actually did. So there's a bunch of infrastructure they can probably just mothball and capitalize on 5 years down the road. But by pivoting and focusing on, holy shit, we've got this huge surge in demand for 911s. That's our iconic car, and our sales are plummeting in the other areas. Let's focus on what makes everyone happy. It's the sport cars. It's the iconic models, and even I think they've said they're going to double down on the Sonderwunsch, program, whatever it is, which is basically saying if you're an idiot with shitloads of money and you just want to design your own Homer car, we're here for you. So what a great way to sort of pivot and just move forward. So I think there's a lot of positive things coming from that.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because the headline stuff looks bad. You've got the job losses. They're cutting my understanding is the Cayenne Coupe, the internal combustion engine Cayman and Boxster, which was slated to come back because they felt there was going to be a lack of demand for the EV versions. And then 2 of the Taycan models have been shelved, so the Sport Turismo and the Crosse Turismo. So on that basis, you think, oh shit, it's all bad news. But you're right, 911 sales volumes are increasing, and that jump from 17.5 to near on 25% over the course of the last year. Some of that can be attributed to the completion of the 718's production run, but actually not all of it. So demand for that is definitely up. And as you say, the idea of the increasing of the Sonderwunsch program, and then our friend Dr. Michael Leiters actually announced the future package is good for Porsche. It gives us the opportunity to strategically realign our company and invest in our competitiveness. We are laying the foundation for our Sportwagen-Schmieder 35 strategy with this future package. Your
German accent is just rock solid.
Sportwagen-Schmieder. I love that. That's unreal. But
Schwarzwalder Kirschtorte.
Okay, so what it does strike me as, and at least hopefully, and this is, hey, we always talk about this, right? You and I aren't buying these cars anyway, but 10 years down the line, these might be the kind of modern classics that we're thinking about buying. What I'm interested in is, it feels to me a little bit like they are going to retain, Cayenne is going to continue to be the kind of cash cow for the company. Along with Macan, if they can get the mix right in terms of the EV version versus ICE. But 911 is going to play a bigger and bigger and bigger role in acting not only as the halo car, but actually a car that, as you see global economic conditions sort of evolving somewhat, that yes, there's more challenges in the economy, more headwinds, but there's also a lot of people with money. The 911, if they offer that increased opportunity for customization and the like, could become more of a kind of linchpin to the Porsche strategy again. So there's some positives there. We're just going to see how it plays out, right?
Yeah, definitely. But also they've said that they're going to continue investing in their German operations. So you might think in this particular venture they start shutting factories down or they start offshoring. They're actually investing over $2 billion, I think it is, in some of their current production sites until at least 2035. So you got another 10 years worth of runway at least of German-made production. And they're basically, to me, it sort of feels like they've suddenly figured out, and maybe it took them billions of dollars of spend in the wrong direction to figure out that actually their original customer base wants the cars that they've been buying for decades more than ever, and they actually have more money to spend on them. And so it's like it's killing off the distractions and it's focusing on their core business. And thankfully they've done it now and not in a few years' time when they go under. But I think I also heard they've closed down their EV battery plant, or at least their production line. And there was an e-bike performance branch and another kind of mobility branch in Stuttgart. All of those things have actually just been shelved. So it's like, again, it's like kill the distractions and let's focus on building what we know we can do really well. High-end sports cars.
Man, I spent years and years and years obsessed with mountain biking, just obsessed with it. And Porsche do a lot of things really well, but for fuck's sake, stop making mountain bikes.
Right. No one needs a Porsche mountain bike.
No, there's not a single person who is serious about riding that rides a Porsche mountain bike. They are, when you see them, they are so out of their depth. Just the worst things. Just leave that to companies like Specialized and Santa Cruz and focus on building amazing cars. You want to build cool luggage and watches and stuff like that, have at it. Go for it. Cool, I get that. Mountain bikes, absolutely not.
Yeah. And so Porsche they're not going away from EVs completely, but they've figured out where their bread is buttered, which is good news for us.
Indeed.
So good job, Porsche. Good luck.
So come on, what's your video of the week? You can bring this one in.
I don't want to say my. Our video of the week is our friend Cars with Luke.
Friend of the show. Friend of the show. Epic videographer and blogger. I've got a question for you, though. So the first 5 seconds or so of the video, you see this, and maybe you picked this just to pander to me, because for once it's not a 964. It's the 992 ST. I hardly ever do 964s. Jeez.
Oh, eat your ass. Of course you do.
Come
week
on,
after week after week. Dude, it's a 992 ST. Of all of the cars they've produced in the 992 line, the ST is actually my favorite. So good job, Andy. Good job. It's a beautiful black ST. It looks like AI. The opening shot looks like AI.
What?
The contrast that he has between the car in the foreground and the mountain scenery in the background, which has epic lighting and maybe even a hint of a cloud coverage. It doesn't look real. It's so good. It doesn't look real. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, first up, let's not cast dispersions on friend of the show, Luke.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's absolutely not AI.
No.
So there's a couple of things at play. He's using I would call it probably something like a Pro Mist filter, which gives those really soft kind of glowing edges. So you can see him walking into frame, and the edges of his jacket and such are all kind of softly lit. That's a Pro Mist filter doing that, guaranteed. But then there is always this goddamn light they have in these Swiss Alps that just...
Isn't it just heavenly?
It's like there's cloud in the air. I just... And here's the thing. I know that having a Cars with Luke video is the most predictable thing. But I just... Honestly, a black 992 ST, the GOAT, on the Suston Pass, the GOAT...
Yeah.
Just being... That's like... You can't not pick it. It's just rad.
Totally. And I have watched the video, and I've actually gone back to the beginning several times just to watch that opening kind of 30 seconds. From just seeing the car sat there to him getting in, firing it up, and just listening to the engine idle. It's phenomenal. So I think for once, Andy, well, not for once, that's harsh. But considering the last couple I've like ribbed you for, thank you for the middle finger via FaceTime. You've pulled an absolute screamer out of the bag here. This is such a good video.
Isn't it funny too? Because I'm just looking at it now. You know, we're so obsessed these days with paint to sample and really interesting colors, and I'm there, right? Like, give me an interesting color, and I love it. But a black 911 with that rear light bar, Porsche in gold. It's so simple, and sometimes nothing looks better. Nothing. It's just perfection. And then it's got the sort of what color is that? I can't remember what that interior color is. It's not the truffle. It's the tobacco or whatever that kind of tan color is. So good. So good.
Yeah.
Although, mind you, Luke is dressed like some sort of grizzly bear. I don't know what that jacket is.
Oh, I know. All good. But yeah, what an epic video. Good job, Luke. But I do ask myself, if that was the cornfields of Minnesota and Iowa, would it be as good? I'm sure it would.
It wouldn't. And this is terrible excuse making, but he does have one distinct advantage, which is the location is so epic. So epic. And that impacts everything from the light to the way the camera is able to focus on him on the interior driving talking headshots, because it doesn't have a ton of information passing the lens in close proximity. You've just got mountains in the distance. There's a few advantages there. I don't say that in any way to disparage Luke's incredible videography skills. I'm not suggesting anything of the sort, but he does. Like you say, as a location in which to set these kind of things. And he does it at the right time of day, the first thing in the morning or end of day, when you've just got that beautiful golden hour light, long shadows. It's epic.
And there's a coffee shop in the mix for you. I was going to say, actually, I know what you're saying, because just put me there in my car with my GoPros, and I promise you it's not going to look anywhere near as good as Luke's video, even if I'm in that location.
Actually, do you know, I have to say this, because I think this is the video. He does go to a little coffee shop in Zurich somewhere, I think. And man, talk about damning with faint praise. He's like, yeah, they make coffee and it's not there yet. He's basically, yeah.
Well, you can't fault him. He's a nice, honest guy. You know, he's not going to big it up just for the sake of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He wasn't going to stand behind a product he couldn't stand behind.
Exactly.
Well,
Mr. Gorns, another Christmas cracker of an episode.
Love it, love it. This has been good. And do you know what? It feels good to do one, you know, somewhat close to the last one that we did. Because I think we only recorded, 3 weeks ago? So yeah. It's nice to be back together, to have the opportunity to talk in such a way where it's connected to previous conversations. You know, it's not it's not like, how do we do this again? And for all of you listening, thanks so much. The comments we get, the feedback we get from you guys, it really does mean a lot. So yeah, please stay in touch. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. Well, I've been James of Auto Amateur. Andy has been Andy of Last Rasp, and we'll see you in the next pod.
See you, gang.